just for an on-site admitted day, so students go in for interviews all throughout the day, and they provide their transcript, their GPA, and they interview with Salisbury admissions officers, and then they get offered on-the-spot admissions decisions. And the Math Club has been super active in our school, putting up posters everywhere, and they have started helping out students even more and just being a very active club. And then some of our Warrior staff that have been amazing. Coach Kim Gibbon, Coach Kim Gibbonsneff was awarded Bayside Conference Coach of the Year for field hockey, and our Easton High School digital science teacher, Miss Ekman, was awarded Giant Teacher of the Month. And some upcoming events that we have. Our National Honor Society is working with Kent Island High School, their honor society, to put on a fundraiser and talent show combined. So we'll be having preliminaries at Easton High School coming up, and then we'll take our best acts to Kent Island for a fundraiser and for a fun night of some fun competition. And then Chesapeake College this Friday will be at Easton High School for spring registration, so dual enrollment, online and in person. And our National Honor Society inductions will be taking place in January of 2025. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabriella. Next up, we have board committee reports. And the first one I'm going to start with is that it is time to appoint a nominating committee to choose the next president and vice president for 2025. And so there isn't really a strict sort of set of rules about how this is done, but starting this year, I would like this to become precedent if it could. I think that to have a balanced committee, it would be really good to have our longest serving board member and our newest board member as two members of the committee, and then a third member would be someone who volunteers. So as such, that would be Mrs. Wheeler and Ms. Strawberry currently, who would be on the committee if they would accept that. And then a third person would have to self-nominate. Anybody else would be interested in doing it. I'll ask in just a second. But that committee would confer and then put together a slate of who they would like to see as the president and the vice president of the board for 2025. Those recommendations will be presented in December, at which time we will vote and then take office starting then to move forward. Yes. We've changed the timelines a little bit in the past. I'm correct with my timeline, right? Okay. So all that said, the two of you, do you accept that position?
I accept.
Okay, thank you. And does a third person, does anybody else want to be on nominating committee this year? Somebody's got to do it. Mrs. Bridges will do it? Okay. And this will be Mrs. Wheeler's last wonderful act of service to us, serving as head of nominating committee, which she's done for many years, so I believe it is very well handled. Check. The second committee-related thing that I'd like to bring to your attention is that the calendar committee has been meeting to put together a calendar for us to vote on, which I know is Dr. Einhorn's favorite part of the whole year. And they're working very hard. It is a large committee full with a lot of ideas, very strong opinions, and the committee members have put in a lot of work. And so as I have been sitting in these committee meetings thinking it would be nice if the board could clarify what it is we would like this committee to do for us so that they don't continue to spin their wheels and put in a lot of hard work on a calendar that we will just dismantle when it comes in front of us. So I would like everybody to take a second, please, and think about what is the most important part of the calendar that you would like to see this calendar committee put forward. If there's anything that is a non-negotiable that you are going to just tear down or add to, any specific requests that you would have for the calendar committee moving forward.
I appreciate that we moved half days to Friday this year, and I would like to see that continue versus a different day.
Student board members, feel free to chime in.
I also agree with the half days on Fridays. I think that having them in the middle of the week was really hard and it threw people off a lot.
there were a couple of things that have come out of discussions that we have had over the past few years that I would say we tend to fall back on. And one of those is that we've polled the community a couple times about spring break, about whether we have one or not. And the community has come back regularly in favor of having a spring break that is longer than 2 days. I think we've all seen that data. I think that was part of our discussion last year, that we continue to side with the community and say, you're asking for it, we will give it to you. And so I would say that this board would be most amenable to a calendar that has a full spring break on it, whether that is divided over 1 to 2 weeks. I don't think we came down hard on that, but that's, I would say spring break is a board non-negotiable, unless it's negotiable. But that was the impression that I got from our meetings.
On that, I did appreciate how we split it weeks this year, just because as a working parent, then it doesn't take up all of one work week. It's better if, for at least I would think for most people, if you don't have to take off a whole week.
Was there an actual list of topics that have come up in the past that we can be able to look at and refer to, besides just the spring break?
We've polled the community before about what they thought of draft calendars. And so they've come back and said, 60% likes this part, or, this number of people approve this calendar. Could we get that data again before we discuss calendar? I personally think that we don't need to poll the community again. I think that they get information overload. It's kind of too much to ask them again and again and again the same questions. But if we could refer back to what we've said in the past, I think that would be helpful. Something else worth noting, the committee, an idea came up in committee that was said, this needs to be explored further. This is not necessarily something that we can do without further exploration. And that was, rather than having half days at all, to close all schools on Friday 1 hour early for the whole school year. It's sort of an out-of-the-box solution towards giving teachers planning time or collaboration time. Somebody did the math, and it worked out to be the same number of hours as the current half days that we have. The committee did not want to move forward without further investigation, but as the board, we can suggest the creation of a committee to explore this idea further if this board is amenable to that idea. So just want to throw that out there as well. As we have asked the calendar committee to give us a calendar that covers multiple years. So before we do that, I kind of wonder if we feel out these ideas, but just that one's on the table.
I like the idea of having the draft calendar, so, but I'm wondering if some of those comments also came from the teachers as well, when you say community? Okay.
I'm trying to remember exactly what meeting we last discussed this. Was it January? Okay. And are those historical meetings loaded into our current system? They're in Granicus. Do you have Granicus? Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to show me.
Okay. Any other questions or thoughts, comments, concerns to pass along to calendar committee at this time? No? Okay. Any other board committee reports? Go ahead.
So, as part of the policy committee, we did have our meeting, and you'll see under new business, the ethics policy that's coming up. But what we've been doing, just a little background with our policy. We're getting a process and procedure as to how policies are being updated and then how they move through getting revised. And so this is a flow chart. It's a lot of words, but it will be posted so everyone can see, just the process and how a policy travels to getting it to finalized, adopted policy on our website. So we are going through all of the policies that we have slowly and meticulously, making sure that they're up to date, with ARs that are aligned. So just wanted to share this process for adopting or revising a policy or policy AR. We do have a committee that we take our time, we read it, it comes from a department. So that is the work that we'll be doing. Certainly, it won't be completed in a school year, but just wanted to let the public know how we are taking this on to start looking and revising the policies that we have that are out of date. That's all I have.
Okay, any other board committee reports this month? Anything from MABE? MABE committees are not up and running currently, or we wouldn't have a report from a MABE committee yet, no?
No.
Okay. All right, moving on to new business. The first up is Policy 2.3 Code of Ethics with Dr. Pepukai, and it's in first reader.
So the ethics policy stems from, we do have an ethics committee, and the ethics committee meets. They did revisions to this policy 2.3. A lot of strike-throughs, because really they revised, and you could see there the letter from the State Ethics Commission in September that basically kind of guides a lot of what the Ethics Committee does in their work. So this is the policy that we're bringing forth to be updated. It struck through all the way, I believe, to page 15. It's a lengthy policy, and then you'll see the highlighted yellow of the update. So you have all of that, so you can see what the strike-throughs are, what the updated revisions are, and tonight is the first reader for that.
Does anybody have any questions about Policy 2.3 Code of Ethics at the moment? Okay, then that policy will move to second reader, and we will talk about it again next month.
Thank you.
Next on the list is a negotiations team update with Dr. Horsey.
Good evening, President Jackson and members of the board. I would just like to present to the Board of Education the negotiations team for the 25-26 school year. As you see listed on your screen, those will be the members and representation of our team.
Thank you, Dr. Horsey. Does anybody have any questions at this time? Okay. Next on the list is the appointment of the board nominating committee. I jumped ahead with that, but just to reiterate, the nominating committee for this year will be Mrs. Wheeler, Ms. Strawberry, and Mrs. Bridges. Next, we have unfinished business. Anybody have anything unfinished this month? All right. Next up, we have our personnel report with Dr. Horsey.
Good evening once again. I would just ask the board to approve the personnel report that was reviewed in closed session today.
I make a motion that we approve the personnel report as presented in closed session.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Dr. Horsey. Now we have Mrs. Jones with our monthly budget update.
Just very briefly, we're 33% of the way through the school year. We are within budget of all of our expenditure categories. No significant concerns at this time, and no need for any budget adjustments at this time. In the background, we are starting work on our 2026 budget per the timeline that we shared with you last month, and you'll be hearing more about that in future months.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Jones. Does anybody have any budget-related questions at the moment? Okay. Next on our list is our superintendent's report with Dr. Pepukai.
So good evening again. We have been busy the last, since we've been together over the last month. We had our first learning walks, which is myself and board members who are available to go through our schools to actually see the transforming and performing in our classroom in real time. And so you could see their pictures. We went to all of the schools, and thanks to Dr. Einhorn, who coordinates this with principals and teachers, and we can go in and actually see the new curriculum that's being done, the instructional practices, talking to students. And it was a really fun-filled 2 days. A couple of pictures that were shown by our student board members out at the Maritime Museum, we were able to go out and see that, talk to the speaker that was there. So it really gives us a good view. So when we come up to budget season, which we're approaching, and we're bringing up things, we can actually see and attest to how things are being used, how they're being utilized, and we can make more informed decisions when we're talking about what we're going to do for the upcoming year. I'm having my roundtables in the fall. It's with every school and the staff, letting them know from a district viewpoint what we're focusing on, our priorities and data. And also an opportunity for them to bring up any questions, concerns, ideas, or suggestions. So I have 2 schools to go. I have Easton Middle School and St. Michael's campus, Middle High, left for the fall round, and then I'm going back out in the spring to do a smaller group of teachers and staff. So that has taken place. Just last Friday, our Education Foundation hosted our Mission Possible, an annual event. We had 6 staff members who submitted grants for wonderful activities. A very nice night. We had the middle school band play. So just a wonderful event to recognize alumni, each person from our schools, but also be able to hear about the exciting things that teachers are doing and submitting grants for and raising money for that. And then marathons. So I want to read this. 169 days until we go live. We are targeting May 1st, 2025 for opening. Our team meets weekly with a large team from Marathon to plan construction, recruiting, data exchange, operations, and communications. The lease has been executed. The health center location is 508 Idlewild Avenue, Suite 5, which is right on the main eastern corridor for medical provider offices. It's the same building where Bombay Taka is, which was formerly Dr. Rob Sanchez's office. A local general contractor has been selected to oversee the redesign and update of the space. Architectural renderings for the space are in process. Permitting is expected in December next month. Recruiting for a physician assistant who will be the medical provider has just begun. Ideally, Marathon would like to have the provider on board in January, and other staff would be recruited later. We've determined the center will be open to all employees and their dependents over 3 years of age who have our health coverage, full-time benefit eligible employees who have opted out of our insurance, our retirees and their spouses or dependents who elected our retiree insurance at retirement, and then participants of other Maryland School Marathon Health Centers for sick visits, not for primary care. TCPS Health Center participants will in turn be able to visit other Maryland School Health Centers. So this started a while ago with us visiting other Marathon health centers, and we've talked about it, and we've been moving this along. Just wanted to give you an update. I want to thank Ms. Jones, Dr. Horsey, who have been meeting and talking with the Marathon representatives as we're moving this along. You could see next step is our staff recruitment for our targeted date of May 1st, 2025. So we will be continuing to update along the path from this. Here you could see a long list of upcoming events. We are nearing the end of November, but you could see next month a host of activities. It is the holiday season, and with that, you have various band concerts that are gearing up. Frosty's Holiday Village, which is sponsored by For All Season, is a big family event that takes place on December 6th. You could see the times there. And so, last but not least, and also before this, I started up student advisory groups. And so it's nice to be out talking to students in the buildings, grades 6 through 12, to find out their ideas and suggestions, what we can do to continually strive for getting better. So that started yesterday and today. So with no further ado, I do want to recognize each one of our board members, Candace Henry, and I'll be calling them up one by one to give them a token of our appreciation. Anna Howie, District 5, Mary Wheeler, District 6, and you could see there on the slide, your guidance, all 3 of you in direction as board members has strengthened the bond between our community and our schools.
So I first would like to call up Mary Wheeler, who has been on the board 7.5 years. Yep, and we're going to have them stand front and center. Those of you that know Miss Wheeler, she does not keep late hours, and so being a part of the board, she made sure that we tended to our business and got out swiftly. And so it was just a pleasure having you on the board, the longest member out of the three. A lot of institutional knowledge and ideas, suggestions that you have really been a value add for Talbot County Public Schools. So thank you for that. Next, Miss Candace Henry, serving for 4 years. She doesn't keep late hours. And so we want to thank Ms. Henry for all that she has done. Being an employee of Salisbury University, a lot of similarities with public school and college institutions. And so bringing some of that to us in our discussions was a value add. So we want to thank you for all of your service. And last but not least, Ms. Anna Howie, serving 1.5 years. And I have to say, Ms. Howie has a lot of knowledge when it comes to CTE, being in the education system herself now as an assistant principal. Again, a lot of value add. Her, as well as all three, has brought to our board, and we just want to thank you for all of your service for Talbot County Public Schools staff and students and the community. So thank you.
Okay, we're going to do board member remarks a little differently tonight. We're going to go a little out of order. I'm going to let our outgoing board members go last. So we're going to start down here, and then we're going to skip over a little bit, and then we're going to go here, and then we're going to come back around. So just that's when your turn's going to be, just so you know. We're going to start with Gabriella.
I just want to say thank you to Ms. Henry, Ms. Howie, and Ms. Wheeler for everything you've done. I know I've not been here very long, but I can just tell that all the other board members and people have really had an impact. You've really made an impact. And I just want to say thank you for everything you guys have done. And thank you to the rest of the board. And also the AP honors recognizing the students. It was just great to see all of the students' hard work being recognized. And yeah, that was great. So thank you.
Bryn.
I also want to thank our leaving board members. I think one of the first days I came home from this, I was just talking about how I thought that all of you guys are so knowledgeable, and it was really great to see, even though it was for such a short time. I also, even though I wasn't one of the AP Scholars people, I think it was so good to see. I think that, coming from such a small county, but that how many people we have that are actually involved and are recognized as that, I think was super impressive.
Ms. Strawberry.
It
was wonderful. That's a clean word to say. To see so many students, standing room only, here to display what you had announced, mastery. Mastery in their education, to demonstrate what they have learned and what they are learning. And there are so many other students who are not here today that may have been out on the field hockey fields or playing soccer, who are also demonstrating mastery work. I want to say, forget what you heard, forget what you read. Go with what you saw today. Go with what you see in our clubs, in our students, in our counties, and what they are doing. I am participating in a run, and hopefully I don't pass out on Sunday, with the elementary girls, fourth and fifth grade girls, I believe, who are running at UMBC, a 5K. And the mission of this group is to actually show girl empowerment, to encourage one another. And that's what our students demonstrate. So forget what you heard. Again, another clean word. Go with what you see. Our children are doing a lot of work. And all of that is because of our parents, it's because of our community, it's because of our administrators, and it's because of our teachers. Next. I want to tell the three of you, thank you for your support that you have given me. I've also felt like it's been such a short time. Hopefully I'm not going too long. But as you guys know, my dad recently passed away. He transitioned. And one of the things that he told me, and what I'm living on right now, is that sometimes you don't always have to be in the seat at somebody else's table. Your work will not stop here, because now it's time for you to grow and it's time for you to soar. And I see you building your own table. You have built your table where you can sit in and you don't have to be at this one.
Ms. Bridges?
I'm just going to say I'm going to miss you three a lot. I love your humor. I love the wisdom you've brought to us. And I know you're going to fly high. And whatever you choose to do, Mary, you're going to rest, I know. But it was so heartwarming to see all the kids here. I mean, those kids have worked hard. And it's so nice to show them our appreciation. But it's hard in today's world, and they're coming a long way. And I just want to say thank you very much.
Ms. Dodson?
I had a great experience today with the fifth graders going to CTE Day at Easton High School. And I walked through every CTE program that we offer in the county, and it was fantastic. And I love that all of our fifth graders in every school gets to opportunity to see this. And if you all get the chance, drop in on one of them. I also appreciated our AP students tonight. That was fantastic. And now I'm going to get emotional. I'm really going to miss your pragmatism, Mary. You're always so practical and have very common sense and thoughtful comments to everything. When I first became a board member, I was seated beside you a lot, and we often whispered back and forth. And we joked that we were peanut butter and jelly because we went together so well. And I'm really going to miss you. Candace, thank you so much for being my partner in special education and helping push the envelope with that. These students deserve that, and I'm going to continue that, and I might text you once in a while for some advice on it. Anna, I greatly appreciate your educational experience and all that you've brought to the table. And I've really, really enjoyed personally getting to know all three of you, and I'm going to miss you quite a lot.
A lot of important stuff happened tonight, and it all has been overshadowed for me by the fact that it is these wonderful women beside me's last meeting here. I have spoken a lot about how important this board is to me and to this county and the impactful work that we have done. And that is quietly often led by these three, which maybe you aren't aware of in the community, but I'm telling you tonight that we are going to be cut down at the knees, and we'll grow back. But we are losing three incredibly important and valuable resources, and we're not losing them because we all know where they are going, and they're not going far. And I have all of your numbers, so you will get a few messages from me. Mary, I am going to miss you a whole lot. And as my longest standing partner in crime, sorry, Amy, she's mine first. I have benefited so much from your wise counsel on so many issues I can't even comment. I have sent you frantic texts and calls many, many times. And you are always very logical and very wise in your response. And you bring a voice and a perspective to the board that cannot be replicated and will be incredibly and sorely missed. And as my friend, I will miss you very much. And I still have your number. So thank you so much for all of the hard work that you have done and all that you've put in for the children of Talbot County Public Schools. I know how important they are to you. And I know how much this has meant to you, and I'm not going to cry. So, Anna, I have known you for a very long time, and it has been such an honor and a blessing to see you in this role. When your name was thrown out as somebody who could fill the empty seat, I think I actually physically cheered, because I cannot think of any board member, and I know many, more qualified or knowledgeable to fill that spot. And you have brought such a wealth of knowledge from your longstanding tenure here in this county and other counties, and your incredible education and experience, and also that you're just a super awesome, incredible person to begin with. I am a better person every time I spend time with you, and am so thankful for what you have done in your short, but it feels long. It feels like you have made a huge impact in your short time. And I am jealous of Caroline County, who gets to have you full-time now. But again, I've got your number and I know where you live, so you won't be far, but you will be incredibly missed every week. Candace, my VP and my true partner in crime. I am so proud of the work that we have done together, and there is no way I could have done it with anybody but you. I am a better person for knowing you. You said you wasn't going to. I'm not. And I have learned so much from you, so much. Thank you for everything that you've done for this county, for these kids, for these employees, for me. And to say that you'll be missed is the biggest understatement of the evening. So now it's your turn. No, Mary's going to go first, so you're going last.
To be honest, I've thought about what I should say for my last remarks, and I don't know what to say. So rather than try to say stuff and then cry, I'm just going to say that I've made a lot of friends. I've got to know a lot of people. I hope that I've done some good for the kids in Talbot County Public Schools. If I didn't, I know I tried. And I did my best, and that's all you can ask of anybody. So, Cynthia, the person who's taken my place, is here tonight. I so enjoy your enthusiasm. I've seen you at every meeting since you registered to run. So, I'm pretty sure my seat's in good hands. And thank you all. If I say any more, I'll just cry. So, thank you, and I'm going to miss you all. And you do have my number.
Ms. Howie.
First, as always, I always want to thank everybody watching and everybody that came out tonight. Thank you for the student board members. Your presentations are always wonderful, and it's always great to see all of the wonderful work you guys are doing. And I'm so proud of both of you. And I promised myself I wouldn't cry tonight, so I'm drying the tears. But I just wish you the best in everything that you two do. Again, it was a pleasure serving on this board. You all are amazing, and this was a wonderful experience. And it was a pleasure serving the families, the students, and the teachers of this county. Thank you.
Okay, you're up, Mrs. Henry.
Well, so now you've given me the free speech situation here. Good luck. But no, it is, Dashika, you said it best. Forget about what you heard and check out what you see. That's it. All of the misinformation that's been spread over the last few months about the successes of our students and our teachers, we just challenged that in 10 minutes with the students that came into this room. And that's why I'm sitting here today. That's why I'm proud to have had this seat for 4 years. And I did write some words.
You go, girl.
So, as I stand before you, or rather sit before you tonight, I want to express my deepest gratitude for the privilege of serving on this board. Serving this community has been a great honor, and my work has been driven by one singular purpose: to ensure that every student in our community has access to the opportunities they deserve. It has been an honor to work alongside such committed individuals, united in our dedication to education and equity. As a proud alumnus of TCPS and a parent of 2 TCPS students, this mission is deeply personal to me. I know firsthand the progress we have made and the potential of what we can achieve when we work together to provide an inclusive and equitable, supportive environment for every student, teacher, and administrator. Please be aware that I view this moment as a transition and not an ending. My job is far from done, and my voice is yet to be fully amplified. My passion for serving our students and families remains unwavering, and I'm eager to continue advocating from a new vantage point. As I step away from this role, I encourage you all to stay focused on what truly matters. Every student, and I mean every student. Don't let individual agendas divide you or distract you from the essential work of seeing that every student is seen as valuable and worthy of our full support. Together, we can continue to make decisions that benefit all students and uplift our community. Thank you for your trust, your support, and your shared commitment to our students' success. So thank you all. I will miss you all. I'm around. I'm not going anywhere. I wish better for our community, but now I get to just hold people accountable from another seat, and that's exactly what I plan to do. So good night, everyone, and thank you again.
Okay, so that's all for tonight, and I'm going to let Mary one more time.
One more time.
Go for it.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting at 7 o'clock. Oh, my God.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.